However, Insomniac Games was able to embody and develop in Marvel Spider-Man 2 the best aspect of both the first part and Miles Morales. But let's talk about everything in order. It's worth clarifying right away that Sony's new game is clearly aimed to superhero fans. For anyone else, Spider-Man 2 will be just another blockbuster in the open world with a lot of activities. To be fair, the activities themselves are realized perfectly. For the third time in a row, Insomniac Games retells to the player the standard bubblegum about forgiving villains and accepting himself as a hero. But almost all Spider-Man stories are about the agonizing choice between the motley tides and personal well-being. The hero must always suffer. This applies to both 25 years old Peter Parker and 70 years old Miles Morales. The basic plot campaigns look like an expensive Hollywood movie, but what is most delightful is the large scale and interesting boss battles. The developers picked up excellent villains, and battles with them consist of several phases, supplemented with a spectacular staged moments with the camera fights over the city and plenty of the QTE. The pace is set by the incredible scene with the Sandman, when the main character is sent flying for several kilometers by a blow. At the same time, Insomniac Games didn't reduce everything to clowning, as it was in God of War Ragnarok Final. This time the main threat to New York is Kraven the Hunter and his men, who turns the city into a hunting ground, where they begin to track down Spidey's villains. Alongside this, Harry Osborn, Peter's best friend, returned from the multi-year tour of Europe and established the foundation for healing the world with his father's money. Those who played the original or minimally familiar with the source of material will immediately understand where all this will lead. However, Insomniac Games still pleasure with a couple of interesting twists and turns. It's not afraid to revise the canonical plot and even dares to kill important characters. The sequel was also another step Sony took towards the multiverse. Zombies hints the other version of Spider-Man, and set pieces for the third installment appears there. The player literally feels like Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, sitting on a chair and whizzing into the TV screen. Many criticize Marvel's Spider-Man for its dual-side activities, which become downright study in DLC. However, back in Miles Morales, the studio started to revoke them, bringing them to the point already in the sequel. The phones of the heroes are bursting with a request from the locals. Some of them turns into personal stories. Others, like helping firefighters, provoke more global events. For example, in one scene, a young photographer admires a Peter Parker's photo, which takes the hero back to his days at the Daily Budge, and the player can listen to the J. Nona Jameson motivation speeches in the background. Another mission involves playing as Miles' deaf-mute girlfriend, and there is no sound in this mission. At the very least, the experience is interesting. On top of that is worth highlighting mysterious test rooms, which not only provide interesting tasks for speed and agility, but also allow you to reveal the villain from a completely different perspective. The developers also periodically roll out unique mechanics that are not used anywhere else in the game. So, in one of the tasks, the hero will be able to use Doctor Strange portals. In another one, Miles become a DJ and had participate in the retro game. A nice bonus is the bike rides around Central Park. Yes, these are trifles, but there are so many of them that every time you are surprised by the ingenuity of the developers. Almost every task in a small adventure for 10 minutes, which can end in a completely unexpected way. The studio also actively used the chips of PlayStation 5 and DualSense gamepad to their full potential. Uncle Miles' stations are hacked due to the sensitivity of the triggers. The gamepad vibrates to the beat of the boss blows, and deep immersion in the world of Spider-Man is provided by spatial sound. In fact, the developers left all and the epic in the main story, and inside quests allow you to be in the form of a friendly neighbor, who is ready to take your grandmother across the streets or take out the garbage. This polarity perfectly conveys the spirit of the character. The combat system in Spider-Man 2 has undergone changes. On the one hand, It became more diverse, but on the other hand, it was noticeably simplified. In particular, special attacks are no longer tied to a certain customs, and the number of gadgets and skills was reduced to 4 pieces respectively. At the same time, each slot for the Spadley ability has 2 variations, and the rollback is faster. Both heroes feel different, as Miles not only gained new skills, but also became more mobile and agile, and Peter, after getting the symbiote suit, has new attacks that feel heavier. The differences are emphasized through animation, so when turning on the Uta, Parker goes into Kratos mode. The most important change to the combat is the parries. Now you don't need to endlessly press the dodge button, it's enough to hit the timing, as well as the conduct counterattack. This was sorely lacking in the original. Another small bonus is paired associations. During mission or traveling around the city, you can meet aliens who will support you in battles. From other innovation, harpoon from the web. During stealth segment, you can stretch a rope between 2 walls, which make it easier to take out enemies. However, there are no radical changes to the stealth mechanics. Yes, this mission can be completed without raising the alarm. However, racking up combos, spamming attacks and using Spider's abilities in the games is much more enjoyable. Mary Jane's segments have been changed, and they become more dynamic due to the fact that Gil is now wielding an electric shock. However, the result was controversial, because in some places she now behaves like John Wick, which wins the effect of immersion in the world. Horror segments with a symbiote hunting also appeared. However, we should praise the excellent work with visuals and music. In some places they scare on the level of Resident Evil. Moving around the city has also been revoked, due to the steadfast movement is almost instantaneous, but it is much more interesting to move independently thanks to the spider's wings. This is an analog for Wing Suite, which allows you to plan at the high speed. You can explore the city for a long hours, because it is perceived as a colorful platform for tricks. Yes, in some places New York feels like a cardboard scenery, but the effect is smoother out by attention to small details and pumped up graphics, especially in the concerned buildings. In the window of buildings, you can see people now, and due to the realistic reflection, the environment becomes more deep. As for flying on the web, this aspect can be characterized as Tony Hawk's Pro Skater at minimum. You can just have fun and relax, flying over buildings in a stream of air, doing another somersaults, or assembling a Rubik's Cube in a freewall. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is currently the most technology advanced and beautiful game on PlayStation 5, and one of the best Spider-Man stories yet. Insomniac Games has taken a big step toward scale and spectacle, depending every aspect of gameplay. This is one of the top games that comic book fans will remember for a long time to come. Thank you for watching.